Hey, Facebook Live. Dr. Tzvi Pearlstein here. Passover week, intermediate days. Passover, Pesach, freedom. And apparently Passover, Easter, Ramadan, all coming the same time. Freedom, God, consciousness, good versus evil. Got a lot of turbulence in the world right now. And I'm at the age where what's most important is my 3 daughters, my 3 grandkids, going to be left with a better world. So how do I do that? How do I play a role? So making sense of everything. Packaging knowledge and wisdom to teach and make sense. Never to give up. It's not about retiring. It's never stopping, keeping on going. So what the heck's going on? Good versus evil. What's going on in America? For me, it's important what's going on in Israel. Hopefully that's important for you too. You've got 2 democracies so far. So let's look at life. I come from a background, Holocaust survivor mother, orthopedic surgeon, Air Force major, and trumpet player, etc. Now what? Well, systems. We deal with systems. Life is about systems. Why? Because you're not an island. You're not the only one here. You got to deal with other people. And dealing with other people, you need systems. You go on the road driving. You got to have a system to work with. You got to play by the rules. You don't play by the rules, you have an accident, a flat, the problems, run out of gas. You're not going to know what you're doing. In the computer system, math system, medical system, legal system, business systems, economy system, everything is systems. How we can all interrelate and work within the system. So what happens if you don't know how to drive, you don't know how it works, and you're thrown in a car in the middle of traffic? Very anxiety producing. You're lost, frustrated. What happens if you're thrown in the cockpit of a plane, up in the air with other planes flying? Traffic, plane traffic. You're lost. What happens if you're put in the position of commandeering a ship in the ocean? And you don't know anything. You're lost. So, this is what happens to us. We are thrown into this life, a soul packaged in a body, a soul in a cage, in the spacesuit, which is a cage for the soul. So anytime you're thrown into a system, you need to know how the system works. Otherwise, you're just not going to survive it. It's like going into a job. The workplace, things work the way they work. You got to play your role. What happens when you're thrown into your body? You're a soul, a non-physical, minuscule piece of godliness thrown into a body. Today, you're blessed if you have two healthy parents and with a healthy relationship, siblings, loving siblings, family, in a home, in a good community, with a broader community, in a good free country, with good economy. What happens when you're thrown into the body as a soul? And what if you're not taught how this works? Now, we all know that life is full of pain, but soul and body, there are 2 ways to approach this. You can approach it, well, one way to approach it. The soul wants to be free. But there's 2 ways to approach freedom. I'm not talking about body freedom, stuck in Egypt as a body. I'm talking about soul and a body is stuck in there. And it's very painful. And when you go through life, you're going to hit physical and external pains and the roadblocks. But soul and the body is a painful existence. And you either learn how the system works, a system that's tried and true for generations, thousands of years, or it's willy-nilly. So soul and body, you either want to be free of your body and you seek any way to do it, or you find a balance, soul and body, with a system that works, just like driving in traffic or using a computer or navigating math, science, history, business, law, medicine. You work with a system that works. But what happens if we don't give the kids a system anymore? That soul and body is extremely painful. You think you can change your body. Not going to let you be free. You're still stuck in the prison. You can do trans sex, all kinds of sex. You can do plastic surgery, change your outer skin. You can change your clothes, you change your car, change your house. Think you're getting more or more money or fancier or more attention. And a lot of it is attention, because we're all just kids looking for attention from parents if we never had the love we needed. But what's going on here? So freedom is either willy-nilly, soul out of body in any way possible. And what do we see with all the pain being expressed? You know, they talk about guns, talk about mental health, talk about... How can you talk about mental health when we threw out God? Concepts of God and soul don't exist in healthcare. We thrown out God from the pledge. We threw out the silent minute. We're destroying ourselves. We're destroying a system, the system that works. It's like saying we're going to go drive and not work with... Ignore the street lights and the stop signs and every sign, and just everybody crash into everybody. That's what we're doing. We're just crashing everybody into everybody. We're ignoring whatever system, whether it's boating, flying, driving, whether it's computer, whether it's health, law, business. We're ignoring a system that we need, that the kids need to be taught for things to work. We need the Creator. We need our identity, divine soul. And we need to know how to navigate this life, soul and body, and then to interact with other souls who have bodies as well. So there's two approaches, soul and body. One, no rules, I'm going to do whatever I want. So these kids today think they can escape their body, go to other bodies, and since nothing matters anymore, you can go shoot up and be shot yourself. They don't have meaning. They are the gods themselves. They've eliminated God. And so soul and body to create freedom, no rules. And then there's finding a healthy balance. God, family, country, which we know works. It's to create a balance. You're not going to escape the body, but you're going to create a balance that allows the soul to be in the body and be content with what's going on, let alone navigating all the other systems we got to do as human beings. Relationships, job, education, making a living, marriage, family, etc., aging, all these things, let alone problems like accidents and disease, financial problems. So why are we making the problem worse? Why are we eliminating what we know that works? So, you know, what we're seeing is soul and body, we want freedom. So soul and body, without teaching to create balance, that sense of pain, soul and body, person seeks freedom. But pathways to freedom that are not true, that are not based in God, family, country, going to leave you in pain and leave you empty. And then there's God, family, country. To find a balance, soul and body, accept that this body is from God, the soul is from God, your parents are who they are, your situation is what it is, and you're going to work from there to find health, wholeness, balance, peace with what you've got. Not to destroy it, not to run, to create havoc. You know, as we said, to go into a system of traffic, whether it's cars, boats, planes, and you're all of a sudden the pilot. You don't know what you're doing. You're the pilot of your body. You, the soul, are the pilot of yourself with this body, and you've got to have a system to work with other people that make sense. So, I mean, you can eliminate everything. Eliminate your body, change sex, be this or that sexually in relationship, do whatever you want, but you're coming out of the system. Now, here's the problem. Here are the problems that we've got. So, you got two approaches to finding freedom. Soul and body is escaping the body in any way, meaning focus on external things to give you a sense of freedom. Very often you don't realize you're a soul, but to give you're not happy with the Creator. You don't believe in the Creator. You don't accept what is. You don't accept your body. You don't accept your parents, if you have parents, where you are, anything. So you need to make something new. You can erase everything. And do you think changing body, changing clothes, changing the external shells, the things connecting you, do you think these things, unless they're truly meaningful in meaningful relationships, do you think they're going to free you up? Buying the candy bar, having the girl on your arm, driving this car, having this house, living in... That doesn't free you up. That's all inside. That's your soul. And that's accepting your relationship with your body. And then, now, seeking freedom without any system, making your own system makes you the God and you rule the roost. And the pains you're going to have, which are going to be exponential, are going to express school shootings, a lot of other pain out there, pain management, heart surgery, stomach surgeries, back surgeries, etc. This is all the stress energies from life. And nobody's taken the time out to figure it all out. So there is escaping the body with no rules. Doesn't work. You're still stuck in there. You're still stuck with a system that is going to be. And if there's no rules, and we all deny the rules, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with the dictatorship. You know, the Nazis, I used to think the word Nazi was like Nazi. They don't see that these people they're killing are souls. They're other people, souls. But the people killing, they don't have a soul. Can't have a soul. They've denied God. They've denied the way things work, created an evil dictatorship, and doing evil. And what happens is, if we're going to be tolerant of anything and everything, what does that mean? So, and how did that come about? You know, there was a time, you know, we still live through hate. You know, we've seen hate of different, because of skin color. We've seen hate because of religion. We've seen hate because of different things. So, you know, a backlash to have experienced hate of groups of people. And that's, you know, how do you generalize with groups of people like that when we're individuals? But because we've seen that hate, a backlash is an inappropriate reaction of tolerance of anybody and everything. Because if you tolerate anything and everything, what happens is you end up not distinguishing between right and wrong, good and evil. And then you will tolerate evil. Instead of being put away, they're on the street. And if you're kind to the cruel, you'll be cruel to the kind. Meaning, if we let evil walk on the street and don't separate the evil from the good, that evil keeps propagating and innocent people are harmed. So you have to separate the good from evil conceptually and actually in real life. When you see evil, you need to speak out and you need to separate the evil. Guns are not evil. People can be evil. And why are people doing things? Why is the news so nutty today? They're going to say in the news, why did this person do this? And how do you feel when you're a victim or the parent of a victim? How do you feel? What's the matter with these people? You know, are they so stupid? And Why are people lashing out? They're in pain. The soul is in pain. We're not bodies. The soul is in pain. And these are people that have no values. These are people that are lost and they're striking out. They're not martyrs. They're striking out because they feel pain. But from the beginning, they're confused because we failed them as a society. We're failing the youth. They're not getting the values that they need, which is the rules of the system for life. God, family, country. They need it. All the boundaries in life that exist. Same like any system that I said, whether it's driving, cars, boats, planes, navigating in the computer, healthcare system, loss of business. You need to have an education in the rules of whatever system, the rules of soul and body and how we work collectively. If you're not given a way to balance soul and body and deal with the pain of that so that it goes from a pain to a joy, to transform your pain to joy, to understand the layers of your life, those that are good, connecting you to truth and godliness, and those that are destroying you, that are against your own self. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. So we have those people that have become totally tolerant of anything and everything. The problem is the mess just keeps growing and expanding. It's like one car accident after another, and we're piling on, and there's no solution because nobody's ready to follow the rules. It's just an explosion. It's like the opposite of music. It's just like some thing in your brain, a sound that you can't handle. There's harmony, and then there's noise. We're creating noise on a human level. And the problem is Wi-Fi reconnecting. The problem is if you're tolerant of everything and you don't distinguish between good and evil, and you don't have a way of dealing in the system in a healthy way, God, family, country, it's not going to work for you. And ultimately, you don't accept any of the rules that exist, we're going to end up with a dictatorship. What do you think Russia's all about, and China, and North Korea? What do you think we're dealing with? And Iran, what do you think we're dealing with in terms of enemies right now? That if we don't get ourselves together and find the balance, soul and body, and come back to understanding how we work, and it's all about people trying to be free, soul free from body, and escaping in all kinds of crazy ways that are leading us astray, and we're tolerant of every possibility, we're in trouble. And there are those people that are trying to live and teach their kids God, family, country, balance soul and body, try and create communities where we can share. We break up soul and body. How does it all work? So, a good analogy that I like to make is you have a carriage or a coach, and you got a passenger, you got the carriage itself, you have a driver up on top, and you have a horse. And this is a nice analogy that I use to understand myself and humans. So who's charting the course? The passenger. The passenger pays that the driver commandeering the horse and the carriage is going to take him from here to there. The journey of life. Who's the passenger? The soul. Yeah, that's you. It's like a sci-fi thing. You're living in the body, I guess mostly in the blood, and you can use all the organs, the brain, the heart, eyes, nose, ears, mouth, etc., that are alive now and running on their own unless you control them. So who's the driver? The driver is your brain. Your driver is your brain. It's not you. It's your brain that you can control. You can use the brain like a computer. Be in the moment, go into memory, go into planning for the future. That's your brain. You need to be on top of it, that it doesn't get viruses and doesn't need to be reset. And then the brain, so the driver needs to control the horse. You know, the driver can want to go to an inn and drink vodka or chase whatever he wants, but he has to do what the passenger wants him to do. Then you've got the horse. The horse is what? The horse is animal. That's the strongest. The horse can do, can take the driver and the passenger wherever he wants. If he wants to go chase oats, he can do that. So what's the horse? The horse is the animal, but that's the emotions, that's the heart. And the driver needs to control the horse, and the passenger needs to have control of the head, the brain, the mind and intellect, as well as the emotions, the heart being the horse. And we have those controls, but in life, it's a matter of learning over time. Parents can teach, school can teach, systems can teach, but coming back to soul and body, the soul and body, how painful that is, and how people coming into this life where you don't choose, it's from God, from the source, the creator, the healer, the father, mother, the creator, that's God. And if you don't accept your body and don't accept that in your parents and where you are and you can make changes over time. You can learn whatever you need to learn. But if it's willy-nilly and just you're the center and you're God, it's not going to work. We're all going to be crashing on the road and in the planes and in the boats. And the computer, you're not going to get anywhere. You don't know how the system works. So life is about knowing the system. And the best system, tried and true, is God, family, country. And all of us. And it was still that. When I was a kid, it was still that. We could rely on our neighbors and their parents, and they're loving us. We've lost it. And the leadership of our country is all heart. It's all horse. The horse is the heart. It's the emotions. And they're leading us downhill, and they're tolerant of everything, not distinguishing between good and evil. And we're going to be a dictatorship, and the other dictatorships are just watching. They're just building their militaries, and they're watching for when they can take us over. You can talk about the economy, the value of the dollar. We need to get back to where we were. God, family, country. We need these kids coming in, soul and body, first of all, to value every soul, that no soul is better than any other, that every single child has infinite value and has to know their own value as a soul. They have to know to love themselves, not to want to do plastic surgery and transex and homosexual, it's not a matter of, it's a matter of having a balance, loving yourself, loving God, loving other people, wishing the best for everybody else, knowing how to drive in traffic and be in balance with everybody else. Some cars want to go real fast, go through the lights, do all kinds of things. Okay, fine, you can get by sometimes, but too many accidents, too many people falling out. And look, it's too painful. I'm seeing in Israel, you've got terrorists coming in, murdering innocent children in Israel because they're Jewish. And we've got here anti-Semitism. We've got all kinds of people in pain here. And instead of coming back to God, family, country, we want to create meaninglessness, eliminate everything we know from generations and generations, how our parents, grandparents, their parents, their parents, their parents, all the way back, struggled to make a better world, that we're just destroying it. That suddenly we have the best answer, negate everything. That the soul and body is painful, and we're not going to go to the solutions that work. We're going to just say anybody can do anything. I mean, we're doing such wacko things. And if you think changing your sex from male to female or female to male, which you really can't do, as we know, is going to make you feel better in your body, soul and the body. It's about knowing who you are as a soul first and loving yourself as a soul. If you loved yourself as a soul, your body, you would be able to find a balance with the body. It's the spacesuit. It's a spacesuit. It's the one we've got. And sometimes if you're born and can't see or can't hear or the problem, fine. Thank God we have medical advances where there is help in situations where you need that help. But thank God most of the time, God gives us a soul and a body that work and can work together nicely in balance. But today, people are in such pain, soul and body, that he needs to destroy for everybody else, creating accidents all over the place, killing innocent people, whether it's several individuals or hundreds in a concert, just shooting up people because you're in pain. And how come collectively we're not managing that pain? Why are we, some people just want everybody to love them regardless. Anything goes, and they're going to love them. And other people realize that it's about values, that it's about boundaries, and it's making it healthy. It's like music, There's music that works for many people, that catches on, that follows rules, that touches the soul, that elevates us. And there's music that for some of us, it's noise. So forget about it's music versus noise. It's driving safely versus accidents. Soul and body has to have balance. You have to know you're a soul. You're not a body. You're a soul that has a temporary body. And it's a matter of finding that balance. And it's not about tolerance of everybody and everything. It's about having boundaries. There's good and evil, there's right and wrong. And we have to know what's really right and what's wrong, and what's good and what's evil. You can't be like the Nazis and not see that the next person is a soul, just like yourself. Don't be distracted. They might be living as their car, or their hairstyle, or their clothes, or their shoes, or their house, or their wallet, whatever it is. Don't be deceived. Treat them as they are, a soul. They might need help. People that have all kinds of stuff and all kinds of layers, whether it's the biggest muscles or the sexiest girl or the biggest car, house, these are sometimes the weakest people, and they're out of balance. And they need all these externals to make their soul, they're not even living as a soul. They don't even know they're a soul. So if you're a soul, and you know you're a soul, and you're residing in this temporary body, we need to uplift everybody else. We need to recognize every moment who we are, let the light in. Whatever technique you have to let God light in, to make sure you are who you are, that they're not destroying you, because every moment they're out there to destroy you. You're there to whittle you down, that you're a nothing. You're a nothing. You're simply serving some system that they've set up. So there are the healthy systems, and then there are the cancer systems that'll destroy you. What's a cancer cell? A cell that's absorbed stress energies and it's out of whack. The internal and external balances, controls are lost, and this cell says, I'm the boss. I'm sucking up all the nutrition from the blood. I'm going to take it away from every other cell. I'm going to grow bigger. I'm going to multiply myself, and then I'm going to spread throughout the body and take it over. What do you think that is? Total ego of a cell. It's symbolic of what happens on a human level. And when it's total control, because this person is lost and can't find balance, soul and body, and it's going to destroy everybody else, how can we put up with this junk? How can we put up? How can we bring kids into this world and want them to be in a better world, and we're allowing it to be destroyed by tolerance of nothingness? The people who have the answer know God, family, country, and we can all connect, and we can make a difference. And the people, hopefully, everybody will catch on. Just like if you're driving, you got to fall in line with the system of driving. If you're going to be in a healthcare system, you got to be in the system. If you're going to be in the legal system, you got to navigate that system. There's a system for everything. There's a system of life. And we've negated it, soul and body. You know, we have all these technologies. You got your phones and your computers and your cars and planes and trains and boats and shit. Everything is computerized today. Now we can make computers be people, but they don't have a soul. But how come we know all these technologies? We don't know our own. We can't accept the truth of soul and body and how it works on our relationship, that we need to live as a divine soul and we need to connect with God. How come we get every system but our own? And we're failing. And if we keep going, we're going to be a dictatorship. We're going to have a leadership that's going to make the rules nobody's going to like. And unfortunately, if we even get there, because you've got such evil out there, we're open to the evil. When you're tolerant of everything, you're tolerant of the evil. And Iran, North Korea, China, Russia, they're all putting their the terrorists, Al Qaeda. It's all negating everything. They're all about evil and control. Those are different systems, but they're all negating the truth. They're all negating the way to balance, the way to freedom, true freedom. America is all about true freedom. America is freedom. We can still do what we need to do to make a difference. I demand it. I demand it. I demand for myself. I demand that we seek freedom, that we team up. We've got a lot of speakers out there, a lot of speakers who are talking truth. We need to be all collectively listening, waking up, and do what we need to do to keep this country afloat, because we're sinking fast. We're sinking fast. They know not what they do. They're destroying us. They're sinking the ship. Tolerance of every deviance. They'll get the vote. They'll get their vote. But every deviant, give them a vote. What are we going to have? It's a disaster. So it's time to say yes to God, yes to family, yes to country, to praise everybody, to help lift people up, to recognize who we are as divine souls, and recognize other people. Give them clear eyes, give them a smile, give them a hello, uplift them, help them be whole, help people overcome the pains. We got enough pains, just regular stuff, let alone the big picture of soul and body struggling to get out of that prison. Mutilation to free the soul from the body. You know, when I was a kid looking at plastic surgery, you know, it's one thing, plastic surgery for trauma. It's another thing to transform bodies. You're the God. You know what this person should look like. We see what it does to all these actors and actresses. You know, ridiculous. This is ridiculous stuff, but they don't know who they are. They played so many roles. They don't know who they are. You know. Also, just going back to John Belushi and Robin Williams, who I spoke about in a previous Facebook Live, and in my book. My book, by the way, You, capital U, capital R, You Are Not What You Eat. A Doctor's Guide to Transform Your Pain to Pearls of Wisdom and Joy. Talk about all this stuff. Anyway, what happened? Why do we have all these entertainers ODing? I discussed it. Because these guys are living on adrenaline, on the fun factor. It's all fun. It's the kid on a roller coaster. It's the adrenaline kick. It's not about the roller coaster, it's adrenaline he's making. Watch old videos. John Belushi, Robin Williams. Look at the energy factor. They're pumping adrenaline. The audience laughing, they're happy, they're content. But the entertainer's pumping adrenaline. He's entertaining thousands. He goes home. What does he have? There's no adrenaline. Does he know what happiness is? Did his parents, did school, did the culture teach him what happiness is? Does he know God, family, country? Does he know himself as a divine soul? Do you know he's a piece of godliness to connect and be whole in that way so he never feels alone? Biggest cause of disease, aloneness, feeling loneliness. Why, when people disconnect, whether it's from a spouse, from a pet, from a thing, that they're dead within a year. Because instead of connecting with God, their main connection was there, which is beautiful. But wholesome connections, first one should be connecting to God. So you're whole, so connecting with other people creates that wholeness, that you share that God connection. Many ways to connect with God. That I'm not gonna, that's up to you. But, so being whole. So John Belushi went home. Was he happy? No, most of these entertainers, they go home, they're depressed. They don't entertain. They're pulling from their pain. You know, most of the entertainment, especially comedy, comes from a place of pain. The soul and body is a lot of pain. So unless you have that balance, once you have the balance, it's not so funny anymore. You can laugh at anything. You can smile at anything. But, you know, making fun of bringing truth out, that most people, you know, they're living in lies. Diversions, delusions, deception, distraction. That's mostly what you get out there. BS. So finding truth and connectedness, unfortunately, going home empty. So how does an entertainer, when he goes home, he doesn't have the adrenaline boost at home? Now, he can have a wife, he can have kids, he can have a home. Robin Williams had everything. He didn't feel that he can create the adrenaline anymore. So he was empty despite having everything. He didn't know what happiness was. I discussed it. It's in my book. I discussed it in a previous Facebook Live. Happiness is a vehicle or tool for success. You should be able to smile at any moment, be content with everything, tweaking your thermostat of mental contentment into content mode for everything, changing anything you need to for the future, but that takes a lot of work. How do we beat all the addictions? It's to understand who you are as a soul, the addictions in the physical. And the soul is connected for a reason. Why? Is the soul getting fed? Are you feeding the soul with addiction, or are you feeding the soul with true soul food? And what is that? Why do we have obesity epidemics, adults and kids? What's the heck's going on out there? All right, I think I've been talking enough. I should go play my trumpet somewhere. So, yeah, I got a book out there. Dr. Tzvi Pearlstein, orthopedic surgeon, going from ortho, straight pedics, children, straight child in the physical, the kind of orthodox word, straight doctrine. How do you help a child grow non-physically straight? I needed to straighten myself out. The pain I dealt with my Holocaust mom and her pain, and a lot of other pains I grew up with, to figure it all out. Why is music, playing a trumpet, my highest form of prayer? Because it's my biggest soul-body deliverance. Music. You know, when you can make music, you listen to music, and you understand what it is. It's creating a beautiful soul-body balance and harmony that we need. And when people come together with music, it's just amazing. Nobody's having a heart attack, anxiety, you know, it's all good. Everybody's good together. And when you can bring people together, share that joy, it's just an amazing thing. But we need that in life. We need that. You know, if I go to play my trumpet somewhere out there, they'll give me a summons or put me in jail and tell me, you can't do that. You know, we have so many musicians around. We've got to play in clubs. We should be out in the parks. We should be out in the dog parks, by the beaches, in public spaces. Those people that can make music for everybody, it should be part of life. And I think God is the first thing, connecting to God and who we are as divine souls, educating, not reading, writing, or arithmetic, as important as it is, but it's about understanding who we are. Divine soul, physical body, connection to God, navigating our systems, just like all the other systems I discussed, navigating life's system to know the tools of how to do that. Soul and body, how does it work? How do you keep your soul intact? How does the soul use brain? How does the soul use heart? How does the soul use all the senses and the arms and legs? How does that happen? How do you connect with other people? What is harmony in communication? Harmony in personality, harmony in psychology, harmony in vision for our planet, How do we all come together and connect? No different from using a computer, no different from driving, flying, boating, no different from systems that are tried and true and work. So we're tried and true. Why suddenly are we breaking it down? Why suddenly does freedom mean destruction of everything that works? We need to build back up. We need to recreate America. America needs to be the place of the free, not good and evil are unrecognizable, not anything goes, not fine, soul and body, you're in pain, you can cause yourself more pain and then go shoot up everybody. Doesn't work that way. Everybody's got to play by the rules. But it's not a dictatorship, not yet. This is freely chosen. And the words I'm speaking are, you can think about it, you can get back to me, we can discuss. You can think I'm a nut, you can think I'm making sense. Where I got through hard knocks. 68 years old, 68 years old. Mostly, lost a lot of friends already. Painful experience. Those of you who are young, you have long lives in front of you. If you find soul and body balance, and going to play a meaningful role in society. So that balance is God, family, country. Passover week, it's about freedom. I don't want to see any more terrorist shootings. I want to see evil out there. I'd like to see our country straighten up and not be tolerant of everything, not distinguishing good and evil, of teaching the kids soul and body, respect for life, not killing life, respect for souls, that we're all a soul, respect for bodies, respect, but to recognize it's a spacesuit, and that we get it together. Yep, America needs to get it together. Israel needs to get it together. We need unity. There is, and Abba's 13, Hebrew letters gematria. Echad is Abba's love, is 13. And Echad, to be unified, is 13. And we need to be connected. We need to feel love for each other. We need to make it real. So maybe I'm just talking to myself. I'd like to be able to play some role out there and make a difference. So that's it. Happy Pesach, happy Easter, happy Ramadan, happy as long as you're doing something that's God, family, country, and for the good of everybody. It's not you alone, it's for the good of everybody. It's for, we don't sink the ship. Nobody should be out of the box sinking the ship. We all need to keep the ship afloat. And there's too many enemies out there, and they're watching us. And we should be watching them more carefully than they're watching us. All right, that's it. Love to all. Ciao.